Goodnight Stories from the Life of the Prophet Muhammad by Sanyasnain Khan. It is a wonderful book to introduce the life of the Prophet Muhammad to young children ages 5 and above. It makes the message of the Prophet more meaningful for children. It has simple language, fabulous color illustrations, and 23 easy-to-read stories from the life of the Prophet Muhammad. These stories act as a foundation on which to build a growing knowledge of Islam. Content page. Sample chapter, In the Cave of Hira. The story is about the Prophet Muhammad, honesty, and his search for truth, and how Allah sent the angel Jibril with the first revelation. A brief summary of the story is presented here. The Prophet Muhammad lived in Mecca. He was a good and honest man. He was a merchant. He traveled far and wide. On his travels, he saw beautiful green fields, orchards, hills, deserts, the clear blue sky. At nights, he saw the stars and the moon, and he thought, Allah has made a beautiful world. Sometimes he sat alone and looked around at the hills, the valleys, the trees, and the flowers, and asked himself, how can we know the Lord of the world? What should we do to make him pleased with us? How was the world made? Where do people come from? And where do they go after death? In search for answers to his questions, Prophet used to visit the cave of Hira near Makkah for meditation and contemplation. During the month of Ramadan, he spent the whole month there, praying and thinking. There, one night, while the Prophet Muhammad was sitting, the angel, Jibril, came to him. He said, recite. The Prophet asked, what should I recite? Jibril again said, recite. The Prophet did not know what to recite. Jibril said, recite, in the name of your Lord who created man from clots of blood. Recite, your Lord is the most bountiful one, who, by the pen, taught man what he did not know. The Prophet then recited the words. He felt the words were written down in his heart. He began shaking with fear. He started to walk down the mountain. This was the first revelation made to the Prophet Muhammad. Jibril taught him the first verses of the Quran. The words entered the Prophet's heart, and he became the messenger of Allah. There are many interesting stories like this. The book is divided into 23 chapters. There are total 132 pages. The weight of the book is about 800 grams. Dimension is 25 by 21 by 2 centimeters. If you want to buy this book, it may be available on all major bookstores and e-commerce web pages. I have provided some of the links in descriptions for your ready reference.